Hello, hello. Finally. Oh, um, I do apologise for being late. I was setting up something for work for next week. And then fired up all the stuff to start this, and no sound was being picked up by the microphone. Now we all know that computers seem to love doing this after Microsoft updates, and of course it is patch week, so fair enough. But clicking around and poking about and clicking around and poking about, and finally got here. I feel like I've walked up 1,000 miles already, so that's never a good sign. So I got a bit of a headache, but I believe, well, it tells me you can hear me, and everything looks like it's working, so we're going to try and believe it. So yes, it is. We are going to get back to making curtain today. We're going to do more curtain. That is the plan. So let me pop. So let's see where we got to. What's a good place to start? Well, this is a good place to start. This will be a good enough place to start. Let's move you out of the way. And we want you to. So let's extract you. And yep, you. And oh look, one of my bobbins has come undone already. Wow. I could never have seen that coming in a month of days. You two. You two. There you are. So I need you three. Don't need you for a minute. And I need. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Right. Yeah, I feel like I've walked 1,000 miles already. Again. There, live there and enjoy. Right. are you? Hi, Christy. I resemble that remark. Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely resemble that remark today. Well, it took me half an hour to get my mic working, so, well, to finish copying the file, to log out and make sure everything was, and you know, I hadn't left anything that I shouldn't anywhere in the result of copying, and then my mic didn't work, so that took me half an hour longer than I thought it would. So, yeah, I already feel like I walk 1,000 miles uphill in a blizzard or something, and I just don't need it, you know. Life does not need to be this much hard work. Just to kind of stay still. No. So, I mean, I'm all set for next week, which is good. I've got my file copied, so that should take less time than it did doing it this week. I'm building servers, and I needed the ISO to build the server, and, well, yeah. I built 2 servers this week, mostly. Only they're not the real servers. There were some temporary servers, and it looks like the hardware should have arrived this morning. So now I actually get to build the real ones, and the 2 I did this week were a complete waste of my life. But allegedly, it was proving that things work. Well, not really, because we're using completely different hardware. One of them died. The networking still doesn't work on 3 of the cards, and... Yeah. Well, having phones on people really helps for that these days. I assume you did find her. I mean, my dad was a bit like that. My dad had a mobile phone, and when he went dog walking, he'd take it with him. But he didn't turn it on. So when the bugger went missing, the week he was due to die, well, I said not due to die, the week he died, I'm phoning him because I couldn't find him. Well, the stupid arsehole didn't take his phone with him. No, he took the house phone. He had one of those, like, detachable walkie phones, as, you know, people have. He had taken that with him. Well, it's not going to work 10 miles away, is it? He didn't take his actual frigging phone, and he wouldn't have turned it on anyway. So no one knew where he was. Stupid old codger. Oh no! Oh goodness. Don't need that. Is she alright? Yeah. You're heading for winter though, aren't you? So you're currently you're currently entering into autumn, I assume. As I recall. Oh. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think you have similar weather to us, just at opposite sides. So your winters are summer, but basically we have the British weather is best described as starting from the big. Oh, that's interesting. I don't find rain normally affects my asthma. It's usually heat that does, but it's so we in the UK we've just come out of winter and we're kind of, well, we're on the edge of winter and spring, but we're in kind of in springish, and basically we go from, so winter is cold and wet, springer is warmer and wet, then you have the potentially dry but occasionally wet and warmer and distinctly warmer season, that's called summer. Then you go back to the warm and wet, and then you go back to cold and wet. So we do seem to be mostly wet is the short answer. It is, rain is kind of, well, expected is usually the word. Expect it to rain unless it's summer, in which case you might be lucky, but don't bet on it. It's good to see you all. Yay! It's Netkisser. How you doing? This doesn't look right. You don't look right at all. Oh, don't. As part of this week's shenanigans, I had to go to work. Had to go on site. And it was a whole pile of stress that the world didn't need. So, for those who are not aware, I work in IT. And, well, I'm doing a project that I'm working on, building servers for a new domain. Do not worry if these words do not mean much to you, but follow along, right? And so on Monday, I set my passwords for the domain that I was going to be working on. Because it was new, hadn't got them before, so didn't know what they were, set my passwords. Well, at least it wasn't your best shirt that they wrecked. Poor old bun. But in setting said passwords, next morning, fired up my laptop, and my laptop went, I'm sorry, you cannot log into that domain without being on the network. It crunched all of my normal domain passwords so that I couldn't log in at home, which is where I work. So I had to get to work, but I don't have a working car. Now, it wasn't just me. Someone else who lives not so far away, also, oddly enough, also had the same problem. Had set their passwords before this project and now couldn't log in for the exact same reason. And I really thought I was onto a winner for fixing it, but we've hived our bubble off too hard. We really have. We've done a good job of that. And I couldn't find a way in. So we had to go to site. So it's now, like, by this point, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. So 3 hours already have been lost by people going, oh, can you just try this? Oh, maybe it's that. Oh, so-and-so's going to ring you. You know, all that kind of shenanigans. Now it's 11 o'clock. Co-worker friend, the one who texts me all the time, went, well, I kind of need you to do my job today. So I'll drive up to you, so he's an hour away, and pick you up, and we'll go to work. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Love you dearly. I mean, you'll come in an hour. Because, of course, there's one thing I'm not telling you. There is an event on near me at the moment. You may hear it later. It'll be quiet for the moment. Yeah, it'll be quiet for the moment. You may hear it, you may not. I'm not going to tell you particularly what to listen for. But if I wanted a taxi right now from here to work, which is 2-3 miles tops, probably cost me a month's wages because of the event. And they basically, if I said I want to go to here, they would assume I'm lying and that I'm going to the event because it's close enough. Where I work is like, you know, let's put it this way, sitting there, you could hear the event from the office, right? So we are close enough to the event. So they'll charge you event prices. And they can, because right now it's money's raining from the sky, right? People who come to this event, money rains from the sky. And literally rains from the sky. Actually, I'll tell you what you might hear. Helicopters. If you hear a crap load of helicopters, know that I am wincing away because they affect my soul. Hasn't been so bad this week, mainly because I'm already in a mood, I think. But, you know, today is the day. It is like, there's one, and I've got, bear in mind, I've got you in one ear, which means I've only really got hearing in one ear, and I can still tell there is one. It's not in my house yet, but it's about, and it's, well, even 10 years ago, it was £600 per seat to fly into the event. I dread to think how much it is now, actually. See if I can find a quote. Holy fuck. £1,600. £1,600. Okay, just take that in. And as a result of that, they only take 3 or 4 people per helicopter. We don't really need many more, do you? Fuck, one would be enough. But there is this constant barrage of them flying around. To the point... Well, it ain't for us norms, is it? I don't know about you, but I'm not... I mean, to be fair, the traffic is pretty shit. I'm not going to deny that. None of the roads around here are designed for this event, even though the event has been going on a really long time. But you'd sit in traffic for like 40 minutes. I mean, it's annoying, but it's not 1,600 quid, is it? So basically it is for the toffs. But people will do it because it's once a year, it's a thing. They'll do it. They'll save up and do it. And so I'm sitting here almost, you know, mentally counting up how much money's been blown away by being lazy and flying in. And the helicopters annoy me. And I think that's actually most of the reason the helicopters annoy me. But money literally rains from the sky. It's 1,600 quid coming in by helicopter. It's raining from the sky. It is worth, I think it's, someone said in the area, it's worth like £100 million. And that's the profit. Oh look, yeah, another helicopter. I can hear 2 now. There must be a gap. They must be flying in for the last one or something. I think the last one's later. But it's just one of those things is that, you know, but so going within, like, you know, almost if you wanted to come to my house, they'd probably charge you the same amount, thinking you're trying to dodge out of paying the event fee. So that, you know, it's getting, you're not going to get a taxi because they're all doing the event, right? And so my co-worker very kindly came up as rescue ranger to help us all, and you know, we got to site, we logged in because that's all we needed to do, but we decided best that while we were there, he would do what he was going to do. So the other chap that he'd given a lift to, had to sit and wait while we did it, and we were there till the end of the working day. Right, it was after 5 o'clock when we left. And I bear in mind I normally finish at 4. So it was a late day. But so I've got, so you know, it's been a bit of a crappy week. So, but I tried to build the server from the office, it didn't work. So I then had to get special permission to do something that we're not normally allowed to do, so that I could build the server at work. And then it took a small ice age to do that. And then so that made it now Wednesday. So Wednesday, fired it up, nothing worked. The server had an operating system on it, but it couldn't connect to it, and then none of the networking worked. Reported back. It has a literally barely tenable operating system on it. It's not seeing any networks. Well, it took till yesterday to get a network. So then I had to build 2 of them, but I realised I'd managed to provision the one that I'd built, you know, kind of on Wednesday wrong. In doing that, accidentally fucked it up, so I had to blow it away and start again. Oops. So I ended up building that again. And the servers that were due to arrive yesterday didn't. Now they're arriving Monday, allegedly. Oh, I bet they're not. I bet something happens and they don't. But we haven't actually had confirmation that today's one's arrived, so feeling a little bit concerned that that's not going to be a thing. But yeah, so I spent basically a week building 2 servers that no one's got any intention of using. So I'm feeling really peeved with it all. Because there is nothing worse than going through all of that shit, and the thing that you were kind of made to do isn't even going to be used. I mean, what a waste. What a waste of time and effort. So as of Monday, we will have 14 days? 15 days? 15 days to do 33 days work. So, may not be on next Friday. Maybe cursing things next Friday. I'll let you know as soon as, you know, decisions made. But yeah, I've lived off a lot of sugar this week. That seems to be my diet this week, is sugar. I bought a packet. Don't know if you've ever seen them. They're a thing called Refresher bars, and basically it's a chewy thing with kind of sherbety stuff in it. Yeah, I've eaten 60 of those this week. That's kind of seems to be all I remember eating. Oh, and a couple of flapjacks. Had a couple of flapjacks. I'm really losing track this week, so not my best dietary decisions. But tonight's takeout, I'm going to have actual food. I'm not going to cook it, but I'm going to have actual food. Probably burgers and taco. Nachos. I'm going to have nachos. I think definitely have nachos. Really up for some nachos. I like nachos. Well, I like the nachos that this particular company does, at least. I don't dislike nachos, but this particular company I order from do some nice nachos. So I'm going to eat those, I think, later. Dogs will get their obligatory nugget. The dog's been quite annoying this week because I had to go in the office and they were like, "You abandoned us." I went out for like 6 hours, animals. The world did not implode. You did not die. You have they have a setup in the garage, right? And the setup in the garage is, it's a double-sized garage, so there's plenty of room. There's nothing else in there. It's got stuff on the floor. Thank you for the follow. So they've got stuff on the floor, so it's not cold, it's not, you know, it's not raw concrete, it's rubbery, so it's got a sense of warmth to it. They've got a bitch face device in there, so they have music. It's cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter because of the rubbery stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it's like, you know, 23 degrees in there, but it is, you know, it's in winter, but it is not cold because they're not sitting on cold concrete or anything. They've got toys and water, and I give them a load of, I kind of throw in a load of stuff that hides snacks everywhere, so it kind of goes under things and into crevices, and so they can spend ages sniffing them out. It's not the worst place to be, but dear God, you'd have thought I'd chop their legs off. Got home. Oh, you were out. We missed you. Goodness. So yeah. So they've been a bit clingy this week. Had one horrible feeling I might have to go into work again today. When I tried to log in and my machine took a real friggin' long time about it. It's like, I'm not doing that again. I am not doing that again. Oh, my friends, it's been a week. Alright. That's got to that corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's put you back on a stick. I know what we haven't done for ages. We're going to see if this works. Did that work? Did you get the stick? I think you did. Right. Put you over there. We can't use you for a minute. Grab you. Now we need you over this side, but don't cross your little body. Now we need some more of you. Oh, goodness. Right. This doesn't look right. That looks far too twisted. 2, that's you. That looks better. Right. So what have you been up to, Christy? Because you do lots of crafting stuff, so what have you been up to this week? In fact, do feel free to share all of your crafty things. All of you. Because that's why it's not just me. Oh, look, another helicopter. There must be a gap in the event. Yeah, you might hear that one. Now. There we go. Right. brain full then. Okay, that's doing well. I must admit, I wish that this grew a little faster sometimes. But then, of course, I've got to do more of it to do that, and I haven't really got the time at the moment, so that never helps. Right, so 1, 2, 3. That's you. Then I need you. So. Push you a little bit more that way. Yeah, I find it very... I definitely enjoy watching TV and doing something. So I haven't done a huge amount of my cross stitch recently because I haven't had time for anything. I haven't even been playing Monsters and Memories that much, which is also distinctly annoying. But I do intend to do a bit of that later. There's something I wanted to look at. But it is... Crafting is definitely something to do while watching, or at least listening to something. So I tend to find I like audiobooks for these kinds of things. And I do it when weaving as well. I like listening to audiobooks when I weave as well. Crochet and knit, I find I can watch a bit more TV. But I find for this, like, because I really do need to look at this, I mean, I guess in theory you could look away. You can't really do this and not look, if that makes any sense. You kind of do have to look to do this. Whereas with knitting, you can look at someone and hold a conversation for a lot of it. Not if you're counting too hard, obviously, but, you know, if you're doing, you know, plain stockinette or something, or a simple, you know, moss stitch or something, you can kind of knit and look at things. And crochet's a bit harder because you kind of need to see where you're looking, but sometimes, depending on the yarn, you can feel it with your fingers, so you get into a, you know, slip this way a little bit, feel the lump, poke, you know, kind of thing. And so you can kind of, with, or if you're doing Tunisian crochet, which I enjoy a lot, that's quite easy because, well, it just is, because it's the bar at the front. You either poke it and it's there, or it ain't. So you can look and you can watch something, but I do find it's something where you have to be more looking at it. I mean, with weaving, you'd think you don't need to look a lot because, well, stomp, throw, bash, stomp, throw, bash. I mean, but you do end up looking a lot because you're checking that you're pressing on the right thing, you're checking that you haven't skipped any threads, all that kind of stuff. So as a result of that, you do tend to look. So I enjoy a really good audio book with it. And obviously for copyright reasons, we cannot do audiobook while streaming. Well, technically that's not true. Technically we can. And the reason I say technically we can is because, well, technically we can. Because we have done it before, we've played copyright music that we can play, but we just don't save the copyright music, so it doesn't go to the replay that you hear if you end up watching one of the replays. You know, if you watch one of the saved videos on Twitch, it does not include that music. So in theory, we could throw up an audiobook and listen to that. Then I think it would be even more irritating if you missed a bit of the story. So wouldn't really work in my opinion, but technically we could. It'd have to be it would have to be like short stories. That's right. Bust the nail. I'm forever. I'm not exactly a nail girl, but my nails, can't really show you, but my nails do have a habit of kind of flaking a bit at the end. That's what happened to this one, and you can't really tell. I don't think it's not going to focus on it because it's not going to focus on it. It's great. It's not worth the effort. But it basically splits a bit at the bottom, and well, it's split a bit too deep. Because sometimes you can kind of pick and the split bit comes off and it's fine because it's, you know, one atom layer of nail on the top, and well, there's plenty more. Well, there wasn't that much left once the split bit had come off, and well, it didn't have any strength, so that was the end of that. And I gave it a quick file, but clearly not quite enough because there's still some of the thin bit. And it's still kind of been a bit annoying. Now, I've noticed I could have done a little bit more with this. So we're going to do a bit more of this side. Oh look, a little helicopter. What did I do last year when the helicopters were out? Anyway. So yeah, I'm very tired this week. I know what's different. My mic should be down here. You can hear the bobbins better. Right. So. Picking at pins is not good for your nails, that's for sure. Now, without going too nuts, I'm going to have to make you up a bit. Up the back. Like that. Put you back. Where's the arm? There it is. Like that. Cause kind of need to do a bit of that. Right. Oh look, it's gone a bit dark out there. Might rain. There's a good laugh for the event. It's an outdoor event. Sorry. Please rain. Oh, there it goes. That's sleet. Holy shit, people. I mean, it's not big clump sleet, but that's definitely not rain. That has got a touch of the flake to it. It's fucking sleeting. Sorry. Thinking of all the people in their posh dresses and hats and stupid shoes and all the rest of it, because they love dressing up for this shit. And by the way, most of them are drunk by now, so they won't really care. There's been quite a few people killed by attending this event because they get completely wasted. And then the road used to be a 60-mile-an-hour limit road, and they come out the event and kind of linger, for want of a better word, and then, well, come out of the woodwork a bit at night and get mowed down by passing cars. There was one who rather famously lived in a ditch for died eventually, but was hit, lay in a ditch for about 3 days, really badly injured, got found, surprisingly, and then died in hospital. But so it's, yeah, they pay a lot of money to go to this event. It's not cheap to attend it, and they get absolutely wasted. They throw their money away, and I don't know how, it's one of those kind of like, and you call this a good time? I mean, I can't think of anything shit to myself, but yeah, they do it every year. There are people who love this event, people at work who love this event, and I just don't get it. Can't. It's not my thing. Absolutely not my thing. That's the point. I haven't actually heard how many have been shot this year. Yeah, that's a thing. Only 2 so far by the looks of it. Only 2 this week. That's pretty good going, actually. Hang on. What was the date on Monday? Yeah, 2 this week. So 2 have already died this week. That's the bit that really puts me off about this whole event. So 2 have died this week already. Wow. Mind you, today's the last day. Or is tomorrow the last day? Can't remember now. But yeah. I think today's the last day. I think today's the main event. So round about now is the main event, which is why the helicopter's been going off. All the top. I mean, if you pay to go, why would you fly in for like half an hour and fly out again? It just seems completely pointless, especially at that sort of money. Come on, glad it's not me. I'm sure someone would say, "Oh, yeah, do you want to go?" No, distinctly not. Liz does not want to go. Last thing I want to do. When I lived in London, I lived right next to Twickenham Rugby Ground. Didn't realise it because, well, I wasn't in Twickenham, so wasn't a logical thing to think of when, you know, looking for a house. I bought a house, and then I discovered, because, well, And I succeeded on doing it up here, so I don't think I learnt from the thing, but I'd asked what was the other side of the fence, and they said it's a park. Okay, it wasn't a park, it was a sewage park. So they lied. And poking over the top of the block of flats that was kind of opposite was, just the tip of a little, kind of like this much almost of a little spire, and I really didn't think too much of it until one day I went to go and get some food at the weekend and had a hell of a job leaving our little road and got to the main road to turn right to go down towards Sainsbury's, and I'm sorry madam, you can't go this way. Well, I want to go to Sainsbury's. Well, you'll have to go that way, but I don't want to go into Richmond. There's nowhere to park and it's not got Sainsbury's. Oh well, but they were letting people go from Richmond to Sainsbury's, so I turned left, did a U-turn and went back the other way. And I know he saw me, but I didn't care. But it was just one of those things, and it was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Anyway, got back. Someone was trying to park in my parking on my driveway, on my property. It's not like, and it was kind of like, hang on, it's my spot. Oh well, you weren't here. You had gone out for 5 minutes. Doesn't mean you can park in my property. Well, maybe you could have done if you'd offered to pay a vast amount of money. I might have changed my mind, but no, I'm going to put my own car in it. Bugger off. So you didn't, basically every time there was an event on, then you didn't go out. So I am kind of used to it, but we are far enough away here. You think it doesn't matter. It does. It is far enough away that you think you're safe, but it's not. I still didn't manage it right. So my old house is marginally closer, but not a lot. This one I did think it is mostly harmless here. I say mostly, but it will also affect the takeout thing tonight. Oh, shit. They won't really want to come. Crap. That's a good point. Might not to have nachos and cheese. Might have to order from another direction. Because they won't want to fight the traffic. Because all the people who came by car will now be leaving. So in 2020, this was one of the county's biggest, crappiest decisions. Was that in 2020 they chose to go ahead with the event as COVID was kind of sending people home, and they went, no, I'll be fine. It killed plenty. People got COVID and died from coming to the event. But it somehow still doesn't deter them from bothering to turn up. It's on TV. They can watch it on telly. You don't have to be here, But then they don't make the money from it, so. I do appreciate that being at an event live is an experience. Any event live is an experience. But I felt my hair there. But watching things get shot live, not sure that's really kind of. It's not certainly not event. I mean, as I say, they've only killed. I say only. It's distinctly had worse years, that's for sure. There have been times when it's like 3 a day. They're not intentionally well, they are intentionally shooting them, but they don't intend to shoot them at the beginning of the day. That's not the plan. It's not the event, shooting things. They're putting horses down who have injured themselves. Because despite the fact that the horse potentially was making them millions, rather than rehabilitate it when it breaks a leg, they just shoot them. And I strongly disagree with that. I do appreciate that it's difficult to do things with horses, because you can't put them in a cast, they can't lie down. But Really, if it was going to make you that much money, surely you could use some of that on the horse. Because part of the problem is that the horses go through an awful lot of stress during the race, and they lose like 3 or 4 stone in weight of water. But their bones become brittle, and so towards the end of the race, if they just even like knock a stone, it can break a leg, and then they're shitting. Which I think, I mean, sometimes I'm not going to say I agree with it, but sometimes they've had a really bad fall, and it maybe is the kind of thing. But it still doesn't mean I agree with it. I certainly don't agree with it for a broken leg. I mean, you don't do that to a human. Mind you, there's a few humans we could probably try that on. But I'm sure we could all think of a few. But oh, have you got the sniffles? Right. Down with you. Bit like Iron Man when Hawkeye's getting repaired. Call it. It's time. We all think of a few people that, you know, would be a good excuse. Oh, you've got something wrong with you. Shame. Right. Calling it. Oh, okay. Yeah, because work's that bit closer, and they're landing in the field kind of right next to it, so the helicopters are quite low and horrific over there. It's one of the few reasons I used to get to work from home was pre-2020. It's racing. No, that's not right, ass. Idiot. Escapey bobbin. Let's fix this one up a bit because the thread's going a bit wonky at the bottom. There we go. doing that. That is definitely the last we can do of you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not gonna. We will need you. So let's just leave that as 6 for a minute. Over there. Let's move you forward. Go in there like that. You 3. I'm not going to need you for a while though. Let's put you in here anyway then. I know I'm going to need you, but I'm not going to do it for a minute. So put you away. Put you over there like that. So 1, 2. Let's make these a bit longer. You for a minute. In fact, definitely don't need you for a minute. We're not going to need many of you for a minute. Let's clump you up together. Stick. Oh, well, yeah. Stick you on a stick. You are now bobbins de jour. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. That's good. That's the right amount. Always useful. Now we could work down one of those. So let's do a little bit of this. Grab you. Get you all a bit longer because I can. One of the common problems you find with lace making is that you end up working with really short distance between your pins and your bobbins. And while technically it doesn't really matter because it doesn't. It's actually a lot easier on yourself if there is a reasonable distance. Because obviously the further the distance away, the closer to you they are, the closer, but also the less strain you're placing on the threads by moving them all around. Because you're moving them less, in essence. That's right, my thumb's going a bit annoying because, again, flaky nails. Hear me bored thing. It's a day for my nails to flake. I haven't done this for ages, actually. They usually just split at the sides and then rip off. It's their favourite trick. It's the favourite trick of my nails. You can get a decent nail, say like this one, and then it will crack just here, right down the bottom, and then rip across. Or I go to pick something up, manage to stab my finger on it, and my nail will just crack in half. The other one. Let's say they haven't done it for a while. Quite good. But certainly picking out pins and scrapping them doesn't help. That was part of the problem with the squares. You'd leave all those pins in and then you have to pick them all out again. And yes, I know that, you know, God invented a pin picker, but the problem is that that seems to take forever. And it's just easier. It's much easier just to get the corner of your nail underneath it. Because you can feel it. And oh, my foot's going to sleep because I've been sitting on it again. But that's really bad for your nails, so. Oh, blood going back to me toes. So yeah, I'm with you on the sore legs, Christy, after wandering around site and chasing up hill and down dale because my badge had expired and I had to go to here and then I had to go to there and then I'd go up here again and then I had to go over there. And it's about a mile from one end of site to the other, and you know, so lots of trudging. And of course I was wearing a pair of Crocs because, well, I wasn't expecting to go anywhere. And so I can tell you now, trudging around in Crocs is not good for your legs. So my legs are feeling a little bit sorry for themselves this week. Oh. They are mostly recovered, but occasionally the one muscle will go, I was sleeping. I was just kind of comfortable and you woke me up. How dare you move me? I object. It's that kind of stretch. Oh no, shouldn't have done that kind of moment. You know, it's that kind of moment. By the way, my hands are fine. Although this stuff, great stuff. I have actually got an alternative. I used to use the alternative stuff a lot during karate. Animal tape. The stuff that sticks to itself but not to fur. It's basically a corrugated silicon stroke lycra-y tape. I could go and get one, but it's black. It wouldn't show very well because the black ones were cheap. Okay, normally they're white. But it's really good for strapping stuff up because you can reuse it 1,000 times if you peel it off good and don't just screw it into a ball. Whereas this stuff, once it's been stuck to you, it looks like it fought a war. Because it frays at the edges, it, you know. I don't really do kilometres. I'm trying to... How many kilometres in a mile? Hang on. One mile is 1.6 kilometres. Okay. Normally over here, people would view an average walk pace around 4 miles an hour. So that's a mile every 15 minutes. So that's 1.6. So we're talking usually... Jesus Christ, this sounds really fast now. So we're normally talking about sort of like 7 or 8 minutes for a kilometre. No, not quite that much. Say 10 minutes. But we were sprinting around site, and doing it in Crocs is just not funny. I did have socks on me Crocs, so I didn't get sweaty feet, but it was not a good thing. It's not one of our better days. My feet swelled up a bit afterwards. Didn't like it. I took an objection to that. So yeah. But yeah, 4 to 5 mile an hour walking is considered normal. I used to do a walk to work a long time ago, and when I started it fucking killed me. When I finished, because I would try and do it fairly quickly, and so to start with it would kill me. But one girl needed a lift home, and I hadn't brought my car in. I said, oh, it's, you know, it's a like 10-minute walk. Fucking nearly killed her. I swear it nearly killed her. She was wearing stupid shoes, which didn't help, and I was wearing trainers, so but yeah, I remember. No, I mean, going to work is a time to do a bit of a get it over and done with kind of walk, which is what I got into. I, you know, stick my, you know, put a couple of things in a backpack, sling it over my back, wander down the road. But I am with you. If you're going somewhere, if you're walking to walk, you're walking somewhere generally nicer, because, well, that's why you wanted to walk there, because you wanted to enjoy some, you know, you're in the woods or something, then you want to enjoy what you're doing, so you don't want to sprint through it, because, well, you miss it. And if you're only going to, if you're trying to break the land speed record for walking, why do it somewhere nice? Because you're not going to be taking any of it in. So, yeah. But yeah, we were kind of... and up and down stairs, and in and out of here, and up there, and over there, and up here, and down there, and it was a bit much. Especially as I'm not accustomed to doing great distances at speed, because, well, the dogs don't do great distances at speed. Or sorry, they do distances at speed. I just stand there and watch them running around like a pair of nutters. I don't feel the need to join in. So I don't do the speed thing. I'm accustomed to speed. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can now go back on your stick. But yeah, my feet, my ankles swelled up a bit, and my feet swelled up a bit. Also, probably from sitting in those god-awful chairs. Because... sorry, work, but the chairs you have in the office suck. I'm accustomed to a little bit more comfort. And, well, my arse barely fitted in that chair. trying to think of the person who normally sits in it. It seemed to be a very specifically skinnier chair. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, if you get back to when I was a kid, I walked everywhere. My mother didn't have a car because my dad had the car at work, and we walked everywhere, and I really didn't think too much of it. And to prove a point, that as a brownie, the one of the things that they did each year I was a brownie was Guide Dogs for the Blind walk, where basically it's a sponsored walk. They got local running track, and you walked round and round and round like a dickweed for hours, literally, and raised money for Guide Dogs for the Blind. I did it every year, and because it was for the doggies, and so as a result of doing it for the doggies, I managed to walk every year 10 miles. Fucking hated it. Bear in mind I was 7. My mother would kind of sprint off. Hello, Silver Dragon. How are you, my friend? How are you? You have some good emotes, my friend. But yeah, so as a 7-year-old, doing 10 miles was quite a stretch, especially at my mother's pace, because my mother was like a speed walker. She was a little devil. But awesome. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear about that one. So yeah. But yeah, doing a sponsored walk is... Well, that's fine. I mean, like everything, you know, it needs... Sometimes the finishing bit... I have to say, sewing up this... When I finally get to sewing up this neck curtain, that's going to be a bit of a bind. Because you have to do it very carefully and not over-tension anything. And, yeah, kind of not looking forward to that one in a hurry. But, yeah, it will be... I will be really pleased with it when it's done, I think. I still wish that I'd kind of felt more confident to do it in a Bucks Point style. Or Tundra or whatever, you know, fucking they're all the same shit. Just because it would have given an even more seamless join. But truth be told, life's short. I mean, I know that I could do kind of the sewing the edges and have a flat edge and just say, yeah, there's an edge, bite me. Because, as a reminder, only I'm really going to see this curtain. And it would have been a lot easier to just sew it together. One thing I have thought of, and I know people will laugh at this, we all know that there's many ways of making lace, and over the years people have, I won't say cut corners, but found alternative ways to do it. So you can do lace making with a needle, where you kind of sew a base shape and then do stitching in between the base shape and kind of make lace that way. And a lot of the bigger lace was done that way because you could do chunks and have many people work on it at the same time. Obviously the Chantilly stroke Tundra stroke Bucks Point stroke, because they're all the same shit. They did do the strips like this and sew them together. And again, so you could have, you know, my curtain's going to be 7 strips wide. Well, you could have 7 people making strips, and then almost pyramid style, you have 7 making strips, then you'd have, like, you know, 3 of them join some together, and then 2 of those could join the next, you know, kind of thing. And so it eventually ends up as one thing and takes, well, one heck of a lot less time. And that's how the Chantilly guys did it, and kudos to them. I do think that some shapes and some things lend themselves to the sewing the ends in. If you think of how I sew my ends in, you get to a point where A meets, you know, the end meets the beginning, but you end up with, you know, live lace meeting an edge, and you pull up the thing, you pull a loop through, put your bobbin through, and doing that as a join does work. And we did try that, and of course it makes a really hard flat line. And I was conscious that I would stare at the flat lines because that's how I work, right? It's how my brain works. So with that in mind, I think some things work well in that shape. So if you make a spiral, the flat edges really help. And because you could make, say, squares out of a spiral, so you'd take, say, this many bobbins, make a spiral out of it so it's the size of square you want, rinse and repeat. You could do that, and so having hard edges where they're joined really is quite normal, because, well, there's hard edges all over the place. The edges make the spiral look like a spiral. So I think in that situation you could do really, really well with sewing it together and making it easy on yourself. But in terms of this, because they're going to be like because they're basically meter-long strips of lace, trying to sew as you go is a difficult one. And you can't really do it after the fact without it looking even worse. So the only other thing you could do would be to weave in ribbon. So you know you can get those real thin ribbons. Would be to almost not quite plait it, but, you know, poke the ribbon through a hole so that they cross and do this all the way down. You could do that and make a feature of it. Make, you know, coloured ribbons so that it stands out, and a bit like the snakes, a bit like how my snakes are going down, but instead of having the snakes, you ditch the snakes and use the ribbon as the lines. That could work. And you just make kind of bigger holes for the ribbon to make it a bit easier on yourself. So that can work. Because then you can use slightly bigger lace, you know, ribbon and all the rest of it. And you know, that could make it work and it could look quite nice. But like a lot of these things, hindsight is a glorious thing. And I don't know. I have so many things in my head that I kind of need to see it happen and make one, or make enough of something to go, like I did with the squares, because originally I knew it would look like squares. I knew that. But it was only when I'd kind of joined enough of them, my brain's going, no. Well, when I got enough of them to put next to each other, my brain's going, actually, no, I wouldn't like that. I still don't know what I'm going to do with those squares, by the way. One obvious thing to do with those squares is something I am quite tempted to try. Would be to set them in resin. Because in my mind, something like lace like this is not really an effective placemat. It's good for, I mean, this stuff, for my tatting. No, I haven't done any more on this, but something like this is a bit more tableclothy. It's a bit thicker, it's stronger. It will take the wear and tear. You could arguably put it down as a coaster, right? If I made one hexagon, you could do it as a coaster, right? Well, that can work. And obviously, because I did this with needle tatting, this has got quite a bit of drape to it. Normal tatting seems a little bit more firm, for want of a better word. I mean, if we pull out one of these, hang on, my mystery pile of thing, right? If we look at these don't, I mean, they're more fragile as well, but again, they're kind of, if you fill in the holes a lot more, this would probably be better, but they just feel crunchier for want of a better word. They have a bit more stiffness to it. I feel. Whereas this is very drapey, very flexible. So this would work quite well, but it's a bit thick for a net curtain. It's more of a curtain rather than a net curtain. So in my mind, I don't think this would work so well, because as you can see, you can't really see. It wouldn't let a lot of light through. If you look through, you can't really see through that. So it's not really a net curtain then. It's much more of a curtain. It'd be a good privacy net curtain in that sense, in that there would be some light, but you wouldn't really see, you know, if you had a room like my study, if say with my computer was in there, because obviously it's there, not in my study, but if you had like a computer or something expensive in there, it would be a good way of having light in the room, but not a lot of it, but enough of it that you could move around in the daytime kind of thing, but people wouldn't really see in. So something like this would be a great curtain for that. And, you know, I have thought of doing that, because these are very easy to make. Also very easy to get wrong, but they're easy to make, easy to pick up and do. And so, yeah, I should do more of these. I miss doing these, because these are quite easy to do. I don't remember where I put the thread for it, actually. I know where this... Well, I know which thread I used for it, because that's easy, but... whatever. Anyway, so yeah, it is one of those kind of things, is that you find yourself kind of... but it's the putting it all together at the end. That's one of the advantages of this, of course, is that you make, you know, each one of these little flowers is made individually, but you join the last couple of chunks to it, and so you don't have most of it in your hand all the time, unlike, say, knitting and crochet, where you end up either making little squarey bits or making flowers or whatever you're doing, and then you have the nightmare of trying to join it all together. You know, I could make most of a hexagon and join it on with the last row of the hexagon, or I can do each individual flower and add each one to it, and it's... fuck off, Trev. He's in my bad books. Yeah. Because his fucking house alarm was going off all friggin' day. Because he left the telly on and went to work and set his alarm, and it kept going, "There's a person in the living room." So, actually, I best speak to him. Hang on a sec. I'll do a really quick. Sorry, that went on a lot longer than I expected it to. But I do have some gossip. People have been fired. Not where I work, where he works. People have been fired for lying and stealing company property. Yeah. Getting a large coffee, marking it as small and paying for the small. They got fired for it. That's the end of their career. Good luck. Not the wisest choice that they could do. But there we go. Fucking bobbins. I want to know how they always manage to come undone. It drives me nuts. So yes. So I do apologise for the extended phone call. But he always seems to phone on a Friday afternoon. Even though he knows I'm busy. Because he started off with a serious attitude. Because of course I initially rejected the call. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're so fucking important. It's like, well, you always phone at the one frigging time I'm actually unavailable. If you phoned any other time the bloody week, you'd be alright. So yeah, but his alarm was going off all morning and he went, oh, I didn't know that. And then he looked at his phone and went, oh yeah, I seen it did. I don't know why that is. I said, because your TV is in front of your camera and your camera sees the person on the TV and thought there was a person in the room. Oh, must have been my good morning breakfast. And I went, yeah, you left your telly on, Trev. Left your telly on. I think I turned it off in the end from whining because it was like every 3 minutes. My arse is going to sleep. I'm not sitting properly on the couch because there's a dog behind me. Well, that's nice. Having someone to massage the knots out is good. Definitely missed some of that. I'm struggling to sit on my couch because there is a little black dog behind me pushing me off the couch. So I'm sitting on the edge of my couch and, well, bony bum bit on the edge of the couch is a very uncomfortable scenario. Yeah. Yeah, not those sort of knots. Naughty Cal is planning a really pretty knot cross. I can't wait to see it. Have you started it yet, Naughty Cal? You are correct, Christy. You are very correct. It is little Rory who is splayed out on my bit of couch that I'm trying to sit on. Hello, little miss. Did I mention your brother and not you? Oh, dear. Hello. Oh, yawn. Yes. Yes, I know. Trev had a laugh that I had to go into work, so we were having a bit of a... Because, obviously, as I said, there's an event on round here and you know... Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, I've got an itchy ear. Hang on. Itchy ear. No, that doesn't mean I need a dog in it. I can tell you that now. I do not need a dog in it. Certainly do not need a dog. No. No, I know. You're very beautiful. You're a wonderful, lovely doggy. Hello. 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 Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. What? I do not need a little brown dog. No. My life is complete without having a little brown dog. You were sleeping. Go back to sleeping. Go back to sleeping. Sun's come out again now. The last race should be over in about 10 minutes, so it should be good. Yeah. I don't know how you spell it. That's not what I wrote. That is not what I wrote. I was typing a word forensically, and it changed it to fermented, and then a pile of gobbledygook. What in the name of sanity is that? I know that's not how you spell it. There you go. Right. It's unfortunate Trev always wants to chat while we're doing this. And he's generally quite hard to get talking or get hold of when you need him. So you kind of have to go with it, and you've just come off again, you miserable. No, it just annoys me that no matter what I seem to do with bobbins, they always just seem to come undone. Right. So 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 that way, 3 that way. That's right. Oh, but yeah, my butt's really not happy with sitting on this bit of my couch. Rory has not moved. Amy, you're back again, sweetheart. Yes. Oh! That's as far as I can reach. There's a little brown dog in the way. Oh, what a yawn! Oh, dearie, dearie me. Yes, it is Nugget Day. I understand. After all, I've got a 20-kilo dog in the way at the moment. Yes, I do. Yes. Yes. Hey, miss. Yes, you. Look at you. Look at you all in the way and waggity. Yeah. Waggy, 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 waggy. Big waggy, waggy, waggy. If that thing wags anymore, it's going to hit something. It will. And then you'll destroy things and I'll get annoyed with you. Yes. Wag less. Hate your life like the rest of us. Yes. No. You hate your life like the rest of us. Yes, you. Yes. You're really in the way, little one. You are. I know you don't normally stand still long enough for much of a hug, so this is a privilege. And I don't really want to boot you off, but you're also in the way. And I love you dearly, but can I love you after? Can I do like an IOU? Can I do an IOU? And it will come with nuggets. It will. Nuggets later. Stop standing on my boobs! She is such a little mountain goat that she stands on my boobs. Well, she's currently sitting on my... Oh, no, Rory's moved. She's moved. Great. Quick. Move. Oh. Sitting on a slightly more comfortable bit of chair now. But now I need to move this to an angle, and that's not going to match the camera. Oh, so I can't. Oh, I'll do. Oh, my ass has already gone to sleep. Yes, I know, you're a whiny cow. Don't look at me like that. You're the whiny one. Yes, you are. Yeah. An ant farted in Nova Scotia or something, and they had to go and check. So, I've managed to shuffle over a little bit, and Rory's come back now. Hello, Rory. Hence the table's moving because there's a little dog head in the way. Yeah. Come round here. Come on here. Let's move the cushion that you've knocked on the floor. Come on. But you can't have... You can sit behind me. Oh, Amy, stop walking on me. You really do abuse your privileges, young lady. You do. You absolutely do. Yes, you do. If you heard that, and I don't know whether you did, you heard like did. That is a woodpecker, and he likes hammering on my house. He does it every year. Does it quite a bit actually. Some days more than others, but he comes and he knocks on my house. He doesn't live in it. He lives in a tree nearby. We've got quite a few woodpeckers around here. No, Rory, there is not room for you there. I have moved deliberately because... Oh, yes, you lie down. Lie down, be a good boy. No, that does not mean you can come and sit on me. Oh, what's the matter? Rory took great upset at me going into work. She didn't mind so much, but Rory was quite upset by being unable to hug me for 6 whole hours. It broke his little heart, it did. You've been very kind of clingy since, haven't you? I did not abandon you. Not by choice. I had to go to work. Yes. Little man. You're a good boy. Oh, very much a good boy. Oh, little sweetie. You are. You is a good boy. Yes, you is. He's such a good boy. Very much. It is nugget day, though. Yes. We will have nuggets. I don't know whose nuggets yet, because we're going to have to be careful who we order from, because they won't want to come out much. No. And they'll all whine about the traffic and it will be late. Yes. They will. They will. Now, don't chew my finger. No, don't put your paw on it either. Oh! There really isn't room for a Rory. No. There isn't, little man. There isn't. You're a good boy. You are. You are a good boy. But I don't need your nose in my face. I don't. He's a good boy. definitely been a little bit off since I had to go into the office. He's very unsure of life for some reason. Mind you, I found something else that kind of surprised me. Oh. Over here in the UK, we have a thing called a blue badge. And you can be entitled to a blue badge if you have a form of disability. Now, usually the blue badge used to be you were not capable of walking, I think it was 200 metres. If you were capable of that, you pretty much didn't get one. And I was kind of surprised when someone said to me the other day that their kid had a blue badge. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, how did they qualify for that? Because I know my dad struggled to qualify for it, but then, to be honest, he was fucking fitter than I am. So I wasn't too surprised by that. But he did have bad knees and a missing vertebrae in his spine, but he could walk 1.5 miles. So don't be telling me he needed a blue badge. It was just easier for him to have a blue badge. Of course it's easier. They give you priority parking. They get a blue badge for autism. And I was kind of like, what grounds does autism mean you can't walk? Because it is supposed to be for physical, it is more for physical disabilities. So such as wheelchairs, such as, you know, unable to walk, whatever, right? But it used to be part of the criteria is if you could walk more than 200 yards, you didn't need one because you could walk. Even if you struggled and it hurt, well, you could walk it, that counts, right? And I do know that was a bit harsh, to be fair. But apparently, if you could, I was looking at it and I was kind of like, well, it said, do you want to take the test? So I took the test. It's not an official test, and I'm not actually ever going to apply for one. And I knew that on a asthmatic day, technically I could qualify for a blue badge because I can't walk the 200 yards. So I've always known that if I really, really wanted to freak the system, I probably could. But I took it and it's kind of went, well, you know, because I was asking about it from that point of view. And it said, well, do you find going new places stressful? Absolutely. I fucking put the fear of God at me going new places. I really do, because I fear about where I'm going to park. And they asked, you know, do you get a bit overwhelmed? And it's like, well, yeah, because I always fear I'm going to go the wrong place. I'm not going to get off the right junction. I'm, you know, don't know where I'm going to park. I don't know how long it will take me. I don't know how much walking I'll have to do the other end. I don't, you know, I don't know. I don't necessarily know any of the people there. It puts fear of God on me. And it said, have you got any examples where it went kind of pear-shaped? And I was like, well, yeah, I went to Maidenhead to meet an agency once, ended up driving down a one-way road the wrong way in a bus lane. That's kind of daft in a little car, you know. Going head-to-head with a bus, probably not your best choice, right? And they were kind of like, yeah, okay, you know, that's a good example. And all this kind of stuff. And he went, oh, yeah, you easily qualify. And I'm like, wait, what? How? There aren't enough blue badges if you know, that's all it takes. So yeah, I was kind of surprised. But then, you know, I don't keep up with what qualifies because unless I physically cannot walk that kind of distance, I wouldn't dream of doing it because someone with far greater need than me might need it too. I mean, Christ, even when I couldn't walk, I say I couldn't walk. I could walk really small amounts. This was a time when I honestly would have very much qualified because walking 200 yards usually was excruciating pain. I still didn't apply for a blue badge then. I just didn't go as many places. And it's that kind of thing. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, I do avoid going new places. I avoid going out, preferably. But apparently this qualifies me for a blue badge. And I'm like, hang on, that seems a little daft. Rory, I know I'm now in what you think is your spot. I do. Come here, what's that in your... Oh, you've got a gunky eye, my friend. You have. You have a gunky eye. Yes. Yes, you do. I think the dogs are bored of me doing this now. As you might be able to tell from the small ear. Look. Ear. Hmm. What are you doing now? Licking your chops. Oh. What? He spent the whole of Tuesday night sucking her ears. Something that I really get annoyed with him for because it makes her ears sore. Yes. Christy says hello. And she does. Hmm. Now don't be falling asleep down there, dog. Animals. I know I chatted to Trev and you think that it's now free reign on the hugs time. And to be honest, that's not a bad assumption. But I haven't finished. No. I haven't. I haven't, little man. I haven't. There really isn't room. Seriously, Rory. There isn't any more space for you. I know. If you can hear him grumble, that's him. That's as loud as he gets, really. Isn't it? What's the matter? What's the matter, little man? You just feeling sad? You feeling sad? Oh dear. You feeling sad? Well, it's nugget day. Cheers. Tis nugget day. Cheers. Maybe I'll order from the people who do the really nice nuggets. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get 2 batches of nuggets today. Because then I can have a couple of nuggets too. Because they really are quite nice nuggets. So maybe I'll have Naga Burger tea. That sounds quite nice, doesn't it? Naga Burger. Nuggets for you. By the way, Naga Burgers are sent from heaven. If I have not expressed how much I love a good Naga Burger. Naga Burgers. Naga chilies. They are not for pansies. They are decent strength chilies. I mean, they're not like inedibly hot chilies, that, you know, the stuff for dares and all the rest of it. But they are, you know, not for the faint of heart. Hello, boy. Oh, little man, I don't want to do that now. No, I don't need to give you a hug like you're a baby. I know you are a baby, but you're a doggy, really. Oh, what is the matter, little man? He's now sitting on my lap, paws on my shoulder. Oh, one paw around my head. Here we go. Amy, I have to be careful speaking. Otherwise, I'm going to be Frenched by the dog. Good boy. I love you very much too. Can I breathe, please? Don't be silly. You don't be silly, dogs. Amy! Come on. Enough. Enough, children. Now I've got to clean my glasses because you've licked them. I have a face wash now. So. Right. Determined to finish this little motif, if nothing else. I know, it's a helicopter. They should all be leaving about now. It's a bit over. I don't remember what time the final bit is. Yep. Oh no, no. Next one is at 20 past. You got 8 minutes before the last race. Right. Oh, we've got the bean again. Stop bullying him. Left himself in. Don't be a cow about it. No, don't answer back either. I know what we haven't done for a while. Hey, my goodness. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for the raid. Hello, nice new people. Welcome to my madness. In case you're wondering what I'm doing and you do not understand, this is a bobbin lace making in its joys that go with it. I am making a curtain. Obviously, this is only a strip, but I am making. Let me do this. You can see a bit more of it there. Look. So I'm making. They're not identical strips, but they're kind of two motifs done. So you got like big, small, and the next one you have small, big, small, big. So I'm making 7 strips, which I will then sew together, which will be a significant challenge in its own right, because to do it so it barely shows is way harder than it sounds. But that's the plan. This is the 2nd strip, and I am just about done with inch number 12. And this bobbin's just come undone. It's annoying. They do this a lot. because you need the tension. That's kind of a big deal. So you need tension to keep everything sorted. So yes, feel free to ask any questions. No question is stupid, no question is too big, too small. But yeah, feel free to ask, should you feel the need. Currently, I used to do this every day, but currently I have run out of go-go juice. So I'm currently only doing once a week. Because I got loads of stuff on at work, and I just end up kind of turning into a kind of couch vegetable every evening. But I do intend to get back to doing this every day, because, well, otherwise this thing doesn't grow. Because that's kind of important. Doing it once a week means that it grows real frigging slow, and I don't want to be 903 before I finish. So I do kind of want to get back to doing that. But it's not a speed hobby, this, for sure. That's definitely an issue, in that it was never a speed hobby. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can go on YouTube and you can find videos of women who just kind of go, and it literally looks like they grab one bobbin and go, and like inches of lace fly out the bottom. I'm not that. I can go faster. The speed tends to come, well, sorry, a lot of the problems come with bobbins falling apart, this one being annoying, putting pins in. I find that putting pins in, which is kind of a requirement, slows me down quite a bit, and as a result of slowing me down quite a bit, so the less pins you have in an area, the faster it goes, which is a good thing. But at the same time, you know, doesn't help. It is quite a pin intensive hobby. Especially when you can't find the hole. Because you stab all the little holes before you start, which is fun, not honest. I don't remember if I stabbed any of the next holes. No, I didn't. Just thought I'd check. No, I haven't pre-stabbed the next one yet. I'll start thinking of doing that soon. It's part of the reason you stab the holes is to make them easier to find. So to give you an idea, this is one of my bits of strips. So each strip that I'm making is made out of 4 of these. So it's an A4 length piece of paper, and goes that way up actually. There we go. So this will attach on the bottom of this one, which we've got a way to go for this, but as you can see, this thing goes on the bottom. So these, actually that doesn't, oh no, I did have it the right way up the first time. So it goes on the bottom like this. It actually goes on the bottom like this, but there you go. So I will trim the ends because this goes over the top so that you don't catch on it. But basically this goes round about there, and I then sew them together so that they are held firmly together, and all the little holes that you've stabbed in it line up, and off you go. So now I need to come down this way. So yes, feel free to ask any. No, I don't want that one yet. need. I need to dry steel. Yeah. And you go there. Like that. You go back in here. And you go down here. Like this. If you aren't sure what I'm actually doing, you have camera control, by the way. So if you're interested, there is camera control. But if you look at the pattern on the piece of card, you can see obviously the pattern. All I do is follow what's on the card. Now, obviously there is a little bit of knowledge to it, because what the particular stitch that I'm doing, you could do 1,000 different things, but once you've picked one, you have to kind of keep to it. So, because it is the consistency that is more important than the actual doing. But realistically, you can see if I suppose let me zoom up a bit. There you go. I know let's go this way a bit. Right, so this is my big motif. This is my little motif. Not that there's a huge amount of difference in size, but go with it. I would call these snakes because they slither their way up the side. And this is known as a ground stitch. And now, as I said, there's a whole bunch of ways of doing the ground stitch, and that's fine. And I'm just quickly looking because, well, as I was mentioning earlier, it's been a while since we checked that I haven't mucked it up. So chances are I have probably had. But nothing's leaping out at me, which is kind of surprising actually. Because usually I've forgotten to twist something. But I don't see anything obvious, which is good. Yeah, so basically you kind of work your way around and you follow the dots and the things, and you just kind of, it's a bit like painting with numbers, you know. You get to a dot and you do the thing that is appropriate for the dot. Now the dot is where you put a pin. That is the important bit. The dot is where you put a pin. Now, some of the motifs you will have noticed there are dots on it. It's because when I printed it off, I forgot to remove the dots. So we ignore those. But for the most part, where there is a dot, you stab a pin. And so where you stab a pin, you do funky things with bobbins either side. So that's all you really kind of need to know. And off you go. You go around following the pattern on the piece of paper. So you don't really need to remember what you're doing. You just follow what it says. The usual question is how do you know which bit you can do next? Well, you can only put a pin in when both of its parents have been done. So you have two dots and a dot in the middle. You can do that dot in the middle. If you've only done this parent and not this one, you can't do that one yet because, well, the other leg isn't there. So it needs two legs to stand on. And so as a result, there are potentially at any given time a few places you could be working. So for example, I can do there, and that one. And that's pretty much it. So you kind of go with the flow really, and do as you're told. Because, well, you haven't exactly got a lot of choice. You can't just leap and do a random bit. So I have definitely passed inch 12 now, so I am going to mark up inch 12 on my list of things. I need to pull this down a bit. Okay. You actually do that, and then that makes you. Yeah, that's right. Oops. Get rid of the X on that. Managed to hit the X key. There we go. So you should now have, there you go. Because that is inch 12 there, and we have definitely passed that. So we have survived another inch. Go us. Yeah, you measure it in inches because, well, Sometimes it takes a long time to do an inch. It depends what you're doing and how small you're doing it, obviously. Lacework is traditionally small. But there are pictures of women who frighten the crap out of me using thinner thread than this. This thread is not overly thick. It's just not overly thin either. But there are people who make lace with stuff like human hair almost. And they've got like a metre long round cushion. So while this is round, because I can turn it, this has got like this bit attached to it. But this bit on its own would be a bolster cushion. This is just kind of a bobbin pillow. But you get people with like big versions of this, right? You know, kind of like 20 inches diameter bolster cushions. And they have piles. Like I've got here, I've got my bobbins piled up. They have, and you can just see the pictures of them. They've got like, you know, 6 or 7 bobbins deep piles the whole way across. And you know there are bobbins the other side. And it's just like... And they're not even pinned into sticks like I have. Because part of the reason I put them in sticks is dogs. When we started making... Because this is kind of net curtain number 2. I didn't finish net curtain number 1. I mean, I could arguably have if I sewed them together, I could call it half curtain. Because, well, I decided it was going to look like arse, so I didn't do it. And it's not that there was anything wrong with it. It's just not what I wanted. And... well, we had a few problems along the way with clumsy dogs getting the bean, banging into the table, knocking this off, everything landing on the floor, broke some threads, tangled loads of bobbins. Don't be needing that. So we have sticks. We have lots of sticks. Oh, my stick's broken. The stick thing's broken. Why isn't stick working? There you go. Right, that was the easiest way to do the stick thing. But we have sticks, and our stick thing is you put in a bunch of bobbins, hold them still. It doesn't clamp them down. I mean, they can still quite easily move. So it's not the be all and end all, but it does prevent too much mayhem going on. So it means that I can pile them up over here and they're all safe and they don't mingle. And they stay in the order I put them in because they're flat on the stick. So for that in mind, it is quite a good thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7 go in a stick. This then needs to go back in here because I borrowed you. Right. You can get back in there. Yay! Sticks. We like sticks. Sticks are good. I've got quite a lot of these sticks, and as you can notice, like this one, it's not exactly straight anymore. But the straightness is not the importance, to be honest. Straightness is distinctly not the important part. Because all you do is you slide them underneath and you strap it down like this. And as you can see, the bobbins can move, so it doesn't stop, but it does kind of hold them flat in a pack and encourage them less to mingle. That's the important part. Now, what it doesn't do is encourage these threads to be annoying and tangle on pins, because tangling is in the name of the game. But to be honest, it is 5:30. I know it's been 3 hours and that's it, and I spent a fair bit of the time on the phone, so once again, apologies for that. The worst thing is I know they know I'm busy, but there we go. So I am going to quit for the day and take my photo, because I'm hungry. I am proper hungry. I am ridiculously could eat the dog hungry. I don't think the dog realises just how hungry that actually is. Because a bit of ketchup, Bit of chili sauce. Yeah, a bit of chili sauce. Slow roasted. Could do that. I'm not sure I've got the time. I don't think I could wait that long though. That's the only downside. So time to take a bit of a photo. So yeah, sadly this is towards the end of our stream. But I will be back 3 hours ago next time. This time next week. So I keep hoping to do one more midweek and try and get back into streaming more often. And then things like Tuesday and Wednesday happen and I'm just done. Now next week, as I said earlier, as I pointed out, we've got something like 15 days to do 33 days worth of work. So I can't promise. I mean, I want to do this next week because this is the one time I promised you all that I would definitely stream come hell or high water. But this time next week, I may have to take a pass. Just because we do have 33 days worth of work to do. And the guy who sends me lots of text messages, he's got the longer bit. I build the server, he then has to put the databases and stuff on it. And apparently that takes even longer. I'm not quite sure how, but I'm curious to learn, but I'm kind of find it a bit odd. He's an Oracle DBA. I've done a lot of work as a SQL DBA. For these for SQL boxes, given a box, if I had a Windows cluster given to me right here, right now, well before 7, I would have finished moving probably almost including adding the data and moving it all over. I'd be done. Apparently it takes like 2 to 3 weeks for Oracle. Now I know that Oracle is Oracle. They like to do things different and they like to be awkward, and if there's a shittier way of doing it, they kind of signed up for that. And that's fine. But that's a lot of fanning about. And he's got a lot of long days ahead of him, and you know, I need to try and do my bit as soon as I can, so he can do his bit as soon as he can, because, well, we seem to be the only ones doing any frigging work at the moment. As I mentioned earlier, you know, when it's taken a week and 3 out of 4 network cards still don't work because the network team haven't got the network right behind it. Yeah, that's the thing. And as I say, I spent this week battling the world trying to get my boxes built. And I did, but nothing happened today from my point of view. Nothing happened on Wednesday from my point of view. Tuesday I was on site getting my password fixed, and Monday we couldn't start yet because nothing was set up. So this week's been a bit of a bust, and to find out today that we're not even going to use the machines that I built, slightly irksome. Actually quite a lot irksome. So I have to build the prod version, well, the non-prod version like Monday morning. Bear in mind, I said it might take me a week, mainly because I knew a lot of this shit wouldn't work. So I've got, they're almost looking for me to build both Monday to do, that's 2 weeks work. Well, fortunately, I've done a lot of prep work and I've been doing lots of things in the back end to make my life easier, as you do. But there's still stuff like I don't have a license. I still need network cards that work, i.e. they need to be plugged in the right shit so that they actually connect to things. Yeah, I can't magic that kind of crap up. And I can't change those. I can only change what's mine, which is putting the operating system on and making it work. And, well, as I say, I kind of got that down. I built 2 yesterday. So technically, in a couple of days, I could give you a working box, but I need the license so that bit can go on. That only takes like 3 minutes. But what if it don't work? Well, then there's other stuff to do. And so my bit, I am confident I can do fairly quickly. Although the remote discs could be a bit of an interesting game, because that was last time. It took me a week last time. Okay, that's right. Trev sent me a picture. But I just kind of, we need to try and shave some corners and do some stuff. And, well, as I say, they've known for 3 days now that the network cards don't work. Well, they only fixed 1 out of 4. What about the other 3, Sharon? I need need all of them. Well, I don't need all of them. My mate needs all of them. I only need one. I really only give a crap about one. I don't give a crap about the others. But he needs the others, and my build is not complete until all 4 are working. So, but it's not my fault they're not working. Well, it could be, but it's not. Because everyone's checked them, so it's not me thing. And it was like, oh, can you just swap them around? No, it's not that easy. You don't just. It's not just a case of typing a couple of numbers and it go. It doesn't work that way. Not for this. So yeah, that's not an easy job. Oh well, can you see if they've just swapped them? No, they should see if they've swapped them. They've got a team of like 20 people. I've got me. No. So yeah, there's going to be it's going to be a stressful week next week and for the next few weeks because I've got to support him doing his database build, and then we've got to do a whole load of stuff to move some other stuff because we have to put the whole reason we're doing this is we've got to put an application in a bubble because it's bad apparently. Waves and this is the world's highest mega priority. Amongst all the other high mega priorities that we're supposed to be working on. And but I've got to go every day to a stand-up meeting about another project that I've got nothing to do in yet. Oh, why? It's nothing to do with me yet. When you've got stuff for me to do, yeah, I'll come to your stupid meeting, but I ain't got nothing to do yet. I've got no licenses, because it applies to that too, and I ain't got no service to work on, so what's the point of me turning up? Well, especially when I've got actual work to be doing. So yeah, I don't need that. And of course, it's 3 to 3:30. Oh, well, you've been excused the Friday ones. Well, yeah, I was not going to come. I had no intention of going on Friday, Sharon. I finish at 12. I don't do that on Fridays. It would be a hell in high water before I'm doing that on a Friday. Especially some pointless meeting. So, anyway, I shall be back next Friday. It has been good to see you. I am quickly going to see if there is someone I can share you to. Ooh, oh no, he's playing a game. Oh, Silver of Dragon, you shouldn't be playing games. Let's have a quick look this way then. Let's go this way. Fine, let's do it this way. See what we've got. Take care. Oh, Naughty Cat's not actually doing Dead by Daylight. He's talking at the moment. So, but he's also he's got Dead by Daylight and Bobbin Lace. I wonder which he's actually did. Let's go play with Silver Dragon because he's really nice, and we haven't raided him in ages. So I'm going to send you over to Silver Dragon, which is a bit awkward because I can't hear him if I do it this way. So let me quickly go over here and sneak in. Oh, he is playing Dead by Daylight. So no, we won't be raiding Silver and Dragon then, because he's not doing crafty things. Jody is crafting. Is doing some crafting. Jody is crafting is going to be raided. Let's do that then. So let's go back over here. I want to do this. And click on this one. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. Shut up, dog. I shall see you all next week. Thanks for coming, guys.